After spending 15 years in quality management, I've seen the same pattern over and over again. So many companies treat quality like it's just another expense on the balance sheet, instead of what it really is, one of the most powerful drivers of profitability you can have.
So let's just start with a question that gets right to the heart of the matter. Because the answer, it's always, always more than you think. It's not just the cost of the products you get back, it's this massive tidal wave of hidden expenses that we're going to unpack right now.
And here's the thing. The secret to understanding all this isn't some new age business fad. It actually comes from some true pioneers who saw this crystal clear link between quality and money a long, long time ago. The great Joseph Jurin, for instance, he's the one who taught us that quality, or, the lack of it, has a specific, measurable financial impact. He basically gave us the language to talk about quality not as some vague idea, but as a hard financial metric that belongs in the boardroom. Then, Armand Feigenbaum came along and built on that, creating the practical framework that we still use today. He's the one who broke it all down into three simple buckets: the costs of failure, appraisal, and prevention. And that right there turned Juran's concept into a tool we could actually use. Okay, so let's dive into that framework, because it brilliantly separates the money you just waste from the money you strategically invest. And trust me, understanding that difference is the very first step to getting a real grip on your quality spending. It all boils down to this really simple equation. This is probably the most important financial tool in all of quality management. It just divides all your spending into two big buckets: the money you spend to get things right and the money you lose when you get them wrong. Simple as that. Now, this chart here gives you a complete roadmap of that whole universe. Just notice how it's split into two main paths, right? You've got the cost of good quality on one side, which is appraisal and prevention, and then the cost of poor quality, which covers internal and external failures. We're going to break down all four of these, starting with the painful ones. First up, let's talk about the bad costs. These are the reactive, gut-wrenching expenses that pop up when you get things wrong. This is the money that is literally bleeding out of your organization when quality takes a nosedive. So, internal failures? Think of these as the fires you're putting out inside your own walls. Now, on the one hand, it's great you caught the mistake, right? But it still burns through your time, your materials, and your money. I mean, just look at this list. Every single one of these things, scrap, rework, retesting, it all represents wasted materials, wasted labor, and just lost productivity. A part you have to toss, a whole batch that needs to be fixed, that is a direct hit to your bottom line. But this is where the real damage happens. A defect that actually escapes your facility and gets to a customer doesn't just cost money to fix. It damages the single most valuable asset your company has: your reputation. And that's the crucial point here. These costs go so far beyond the balance sheet. They totally erode the trust you've worked so hard to build with your market. I mean, one bad experience can lose you a customer for life. And the negative word of mouth that follows, that can cost you way, way more. All right, enough of the doom and gloom. Let's move to the other side of the equation, the fun side, and see how making smart investments can completely change the game. This is where we shift from just reacting to failures to actually proactively preventing them. In all my years of experience, I can tell you this is the most powerful lever you can pull, period. It's all about building quality in from the absolute beginning, from the design phase to picking suppliers, so problems don't even have a chance to pop up. Think of it like you're building a house. All of these things here, this is your foundation. You invest here in solid plans, good partners, and stable processes, so that everything you build on top of it is solid and reliable. Now, appraisal costs, this is just the cost of vigilance. It's about checking your work, verifying that all those prevention efforts are actually paying off. It's how you confirm you're making what you think you're making. These activities give you the hard data you need to know you're on the right track before it's too late. You can think of them as your early warning system, catching little deviations before they turn into huge, costly defects. Okay, so now let's bring all of this together with one single visual that reveals the really deep relationship between all these costs. This is where the whole strategy just clicks. So the central tension is this. It's like a seesaw. As you strategically spend more money over here on preventing and appraising for failures, the actual cost of those failures over here just plummets. They're inversely related. One goes up by choice, the other goes way down as a result. And this curve from Duran illustrates it perfectly. This is the optimum quality level. See, as your investment in good quality goes up, your failure costs drop like a rock. And that sweet spot, that lowest point on the total Coke curve, that's where your total cost is minimized, because your smart investments have basically starved out all the costs of failure.
And here's the key takeaway, straight from Jurin himself. Getting to peak operational efficiency and the minimum possible cost doesn't come from cutting corners. It comes from achieving perfect quality.
So really, the ultimate goal is to transform your whole quality budget from a list of reactive, painful expenses into a portfolio of proactive, value-driving investments. You stop paying to fix mistakes, and you start investing in success. So I'll leave you with this question to think about for your own business. Where do you all fall on this curve? Is your budget dominated by the costs of failure, rework, warranties, customer complaints? Or is it focused on the investments of good quality, planning, training, and process control? When it comes right down to it, are you paying to fix failures, or are you investing to prevent them from ever happening in the first place?